What's up, everybody? Week 1 in the books. Week 2 is here. And man, week 1 did not disappoint. We're just going to start it off. Eli, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, going up against the defending champs, Ridley's, believe it or not. And I pull out the victory, 178-165. It was going back and forth. I jumped out to a big lead. All of a sudden, man, after the early games, all of a sudden, Marty comes, he takes the lead. It's going back and forth, and it came down to the Monday night game. Brandon McManus, Denver Broncos. So here's the craziness, right? You end up losing by 13. But if Denver plays that game differently, man, you would have had a shot because, man, they had field goal opportunities. Twice going at the 1-yard line. They would have kicked field goals both times. That would have been an additional 6 points. They missed that last field goal. I mean, it could have been, listen, I think I still would have won. But it was two high-scoring teams going at it, pull it out victorious. I go up to 1-0. Marty's down to 0-1. Next matchup, and talk about a close matchup. Frank's Jets versus Colin Kaepernick. And Frank's Jets ekes out the 1-point win, 160-159. So I have an interesting question for Jordan. Jordan's a huge Steelers fan. If McPherson makes that extra point, you would have won this week, but your Steelers would have lost. Would you rather that, or are you happy with you losing week 1 and your Steelers stealing a win in week 1 of the NFL season? Interesting question. Wonder what your response would be. Frank's Jets. Frank pulled it off with Sutton and Williams going off Monday night, just getting enough to pull the win. He goes to 1-0. Colin Kaepernick down 0-1. Next matchup, Steel Curtain versus Bushwick Hitman. And let me tell you, Ariel's team is stacked. 174-111 win. I mean, blowout city. And Bubba, is this the year Aaron Rodgers falls off completely? No wide receivers. Devontae Adams is gone. Watson drops a short 75-yard touchdown. We'll see, man. Steel Curtain goes up to 1-0. Bushwick Hitman 0-1. Next matchup, Team Deal versus Gotham Knights. And Danny, dude, your team is running back stacked. Leading the way, Saquon Barkley, baby. Woo! 165-101 win. Barkley just went off. Danny, you had a bunch of guys that went off, but Barkley led the way. And, man, Terry, man, you lose Dak Prescott, man. That is rough, man. But, see, his quarterback went down. Then there was a trade, and we're going to get into that shortly. Danny goes up to 1-0. Terry drops down to 0-1. Next matchup, Flying Buffalo Wings versus M-Team 8000, and another close matchup, a 2-point victory, 143-141. Flying Buffaloes wins. Alex, man, suck up for the win, man. Sunday night, kicking you in for the victory. Marco, the fact that Joe Flacco did better than Trubisky, you may have a quarterback issue, man. I'm just saying, you may need to upgrade in that department, man. Flying Buffalo goes up to 1-0. M-Team 8000 goes down to 0-1. Next matchup, Bad Boys versus Legendary Giant. And you see, this is where trades work. Listen, Kareem Hunt came through for me and got me the victory this week. What did Carson Wentz do for Bad Boys? He only scored 37 points, and Bad Boys in a runaway 184-102, highest scoring team of the week. Dude, Justin Jefferson, 40 points. Wentz scores for 37. Between those two, 77 points. Monster game. And man, Juan, on the flip side, you had Akers and Knox, who combined for 1.5 points. Tough loss. Bad Boys goes up to 1-0. Legendary Giant 0-1. And then the final matchup of the week, Ojo Meister versus Brooklyn Giants. And Ojo Meister putting the smackdown, doubling up 132-66. Daniel Jones and Brissett combined scored only 3 more points than Jonathan Taylor on Ojo Meister's team. As for Brooklyn Giants, man, the one quarterback experiment is failing huge, man. You only got 8 points out of that slot. You need a second quarterback. Listen, I'm not going to tell you how to run their team, but if you want any chance, you need a second QB. Ojo Meister goes up to 1-0. Brooklyn Giants drops down to 0-1. So, we had some trades this week. First trade, we had a head scratcher for most people when they saw this. Colin Kaepernick trades Cameron Brate to Team 8000 for Terry McLaurin. Now, a lot of people are questioning this trade, and I'm not going to lie, me included. The only sense I do make out of it is that right now Tampa has no wide receivers. Everybody's hurt. And listen, Brady does like his tight ends. So Brate may get some burn. And we're going to see this week. If Brate does nothing this week, then it's a bad trade. But with Evans hurt, with Godwin out, with Gage hurt, with Jones hurt, all questionable, this is where Brate shines. So if Brate has a big game, then you know what? Then I understand it. Terry McLaurin going to Jordan. Man, let me tell you, with Carson Wentz, that three wide receiver set, I mean, listen, Dotson's going to steal some burn. Samuel's going to steal some burn. But I think McLaurin's still going to get his yards. I'm a big fan of McLaurin, so we'll see how that trade plays out. Second trade we have, Gotham Knights and Frank's Jets. Gotham Knights gets Justin Fields and Irv Smith for TJ Hawkinson, who goes to Frank's Jets. And listen, I get it. TJ Hawkinson's a good tight end, but Gotham Knights had to need a quarterback because Dak is done. And look, Dak, they say 4 weeks, it ain't going to be 4 weeks, probably more like 8 weeks. Even when that happens, the offense didn't look good prior to that. Cooper is really missed right now. Justin Fields, listen, he looked a lot better than Trey Lance. And it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. So those are the two trades for this week. Now let's get up to this week's matchup. And the first matchup, Eli, two-time Super Bowl MVP, going against Flying Buffalo Wings. And let me just tell you, Alex, so I was explaining this to a few people, and I'm going to share it with the rest of the league. This is my championship season. This is my drive for the third one. I'm going for my third championship. And what better way than to face, last week we won, the defending champs. This week I'm playing against the champs from the year before. Who do I play next week? The champs from the year before that. So I'm going against the last three champions in this league in the first 3 weeks of the season. Why? Because this is my championship season, and you're all here to watch and enjoy. Alex, you're going down this week, man. Right now, we had nobody on the Thursday night game. It's going to come down to Monday night because how crazy is this? My two quarterbacks are going against Alex's two quarterbacks on Monday night. Insane. It's going to be Tannehill versus Josh Allen, the Buffalo-Tennessee game. And then it's going to be the Philly-Minnesota game, Cousins going against Hurts. So good luck, Alex. But I'm getting the W this week. Both teams going 1-0. Next matchup, we have the battle of the winless. It's going to be Colin Kaepernick going against Ridley's Believe It or Not. So far, both teams have had one slot already played, and Colin Kaepernick is up 32-2. Next matchup we have is the only matchup where we have a winning team versus a losing team, because every other matchup this week is either the undefeateds going against each other or the winless against each other. But this is the only one that's different. Frank's Jets 1-0 going against Bushwick Hitmen, who is 0-1. Bushwick Hitmen has already got two guys played. Frank's Jets only has one, and Frank's Jets is leading 23-21. So not a good start for Bushwick Hitmen. Next matchup, we have Team Deal versus Ojo Meister, both 1-0. Again, Team Deal's already had one guy play. He's already got 10 points on the board. He jumped to early lead 10-0. Next up, we have Bad Boys versus Steel Curtain. Two very high-scoring teams going at each other, both 1-0. Neither person had someone play in Thursday, so it's 0-0. It's going to be a great matchup today. Next, we have two teams who have not won this week. Team 8000 going against Gotham Knights. Marco's up to a 20-point lead, but he's already used two people. In the final matchup, we have Brooklyn Giants versus Legendary Giant. Battle of the Giants. Now, Brooklyn Giants have already used three people, but they're up 48-0. So, Juan, you got a mountain to climb there. So, like I said, there is a possibility, the way the matchups, and it is random, that we can have 8 teams be 1-1 after this week. Talk about parity. It's insane. But, like I said, this week, it's going to be all about the Giants. What a game last week. Listen, huge Giant fan, and it's been a long time, a long time. I think it's been over 5 years that I've been that excited watching them play. And what they did, going for two, was incredible. If you're a Giants fan, you got to be amped. Listen, I'm realistic. I'm not expecting, oh my God, we're going to win the division. No, nothing like that. But we played competitive football last week, and that's what I wanted to see. We were in it at the end, and that's what I wanted to see. And going for two, talk about a ballsy call from a new coach. I'm loving what I'm seeing right now. And listen, I can't wait to see what happens this week. And I cannot wait to see when Thibodeau gets back into the scheme of things. And I want to see what he can do on the field. Because let me tell you, the defense, he's going to be a difference maker. You guys have a good week. Week 2 is here. Alex, you're going down. G-Man. Let's go, Mets. Dude, we're going to the playoffs. The magic number, I think, is 4 now to get into the playoffs. And we're going to win the division from Atlanta because I'm feeling it, man. Man, so it is great to be a Met fan, a Giant fan. I'm loving it. You guys have a good week. I'll see you next week.